We owe America a huge apology because this World Cup has been better than anyone could have imagined.
The UK and the rest of Europe owe America one big apology.
Since we've arrived in America and everybody's seen it online, we've had loads of comments telling us that we're crazy and it's not the right time to come, and loads of stuff about tourists and being dangerous and things like that. Certainly New York, people have said it's really unfriendly, but for us as a family, we've completely found it the opposite.
I've got to say, if I'm honest, we owe the USA an apology. And when I say we, I mean the UK, Europe, all of us. Everyone's been throwing all these stereotypes for so many years, and it's so untrue. The World Cup has shown how welcoming and how amazing the American people are. Hats off to the USA.
I think America hosting the World Cup has really shown us something. I'm going to say it, and I think everyone's maybe been thinking about it as well. I think this World Cup has shown us that maybe we've been played by each other's governments. I know for one, Britain really plays everybody against America. It tries to make everyone hate America, gives everyone preconceived expectations of America. But, and here's the but, everyone has come to America and fallen in love with it. Absolutely fallen in love with it. Couldn't it be any more different than what we've been told in the mainstream media? We've all seen it. It's not just people from the UK all coming here. It's people from all over the world, everywhere, to come to America. And they wouldn't have come to America, a lot of them, if it wasn't for the soccer, the football. People probably wouldn't have come to America. They wouldn't have chosen to. The football, soccer, has brought them here. And it has opened their eyes and blown minds. I don't know, part of me just feels there's some games going on here that's playing everyone's countries against each other. And I think this World Cup has made us realise that we aren't against each other. Maybe somebody else is against us. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
America, you've given me one of the greatest moments in my life. This is the best World Cup of all time. Just listen, this is unbelievable. Here we go, touching you. Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba.
We owe America a huge apology because this World Cup has been better than anyone could have imagined. Before coming out, everyone was complaining that the pitches might not be right, that the place might not be safe. But the pitches have been fun and it feels like one of the safest games I've ever been to. Everyone here is really happy. I just watched Ghana draw 0-0 with England in the World Cup, and everything has gone so smoothly both times I've gone into the ground as well. There's been no issues with tickets, no one jumping in, getting in when they don't have a ticket. It's been absolutely incredible. The noise here has been next level. Right now they're playing music, so I might have to change the audio when I actually come to edit this. But even the pitches, everyone's saying that there's going to be injuries, there's going to be accidents, but there hasn't been a single one. It's been a very, very good World Cup so far, and I'm excited to see where the rest of it takes us. England now have to go to New Jersey and get a result against Panama if they want to win their group, but I'm still confident that we're going to qualify quite comfortably. However, look at this place. It's absolutely rocking. It's wonderful.
Since we've arrived in America and everybody's seen it online, we've had loads of comments telling us that we're crazy and it's not the right time to come, and loads of stuff about tourists and being dangerous and things like that. Certainly New York, people have said it's really unfriendly, but for us as a family, we've completely found it the opposite. We've had loads of people being super welcoming to us, really, really nice. We're walking around, we're in Times Square right now, no issue whatsoever. We've also been around at night on the subway. We've literally had no problems, and it's just an incredible city. We're really excited for the rest of this journey, and we've got 2 months exploring, which we cannot wait for. We're here for a few more days, but don't be put off by all of the noise about the dangers of coming here right now. We've literally found it absolutely fantastic. Don't get me wrong, you see some pretty crazy sights and it can be very loud and very busy, but we're well travelled, and this is actually country number 20 for us, which makes it even more special, and it's kind of a bucket list thing what we're doing. In a few days we're going to be getting a camper van and we're going to be going through a long journey which we're going to take you on. So far we're absolutely loving it here in America.
The UK and the rest of Europe owe America one big apology. For years they have been mocked. Americans are stupid. It's unsafe in America. They're all so rude. Why are their portion sizes so big? Why do they love their country so much? And now, because of the World Cup, people are going there and experiencing America firsthand. I am seeing thousands of videos from Brits, Dutch people, German people, talking about how friendly Americans are, talking about how clean it is, talking about how outstanding the atmosphere is. And I'm sat here thinking, 5 years ago, where was this energy? It was nowhere to be seen. So, do what's right. Apologize to the Americans, because now you understand. Now you have seen America firsthand. The mountains, the deserts, the people, the portion sizes, the trucks, the atmosphere. You will get stopped on the side of the road and have a heart-to-heart conversation because they're all genuine, lovely people. Apologize now.
I have to be honest, seeing all of this reaction recently has been really interesting because it feels like a lot of people around the world are discovering a version of America that they never expected to find. For years, the internet has almost trained people to think about countries in extreme. Everything is either amazing or terrible. Everything is either paradise or disaster. And America has probably been one of the biggest examples of that. Depending on where you live, the image you get of America can be completely different. Some people think it is the greatest country in the world, other thinks it is falling apart. Some think everyone is rich, others think everyone is struggling. Some think Americans are rude and loud, others think Americans some of the friendliest people you will ever meet. And what is funny is that millions of people have opinions about America despite never actually visiting the country themselves. Honestly, that is true for almost everyone, for almost every country on earth. People build opinions from headlines, social media posts, movies, television shows, and comments online, but real life usually looks like very different from the internet. The internet is designed to show extremes. Nobody uploads a video called I had a normal day and everyone was nice to me. That does not go viral. Negative experience spread faster, arguments spread faster, controversy spread faster. So, after years of seeing only the negatives, it must be pretty surprising for visitors to arrive and realize that most people are just normal people living normal lives. And I think that is one of the biggest lessons from all of this. Sometimes the world online and the world outside your front door are two completely different places. Another thing that stands out to me is how often visitors talk about American friendliness. You hear the same words over and over again: welcoming, friendly, helpful, generous. And honestly, if thousands of people from different countries keep saying the exact same thing, maybe there is something to it. Because people remember how you make them feel. Years later, they probably won't remember every building they saw or every restaurant they visited, but they will remember the stranger who helped them. They will remember the random conversation they had. They will remember the people who went out of their way to make them feel welcome. That's the stuff that sticks with you. I also find it funny seeing foreigners discover things that Americans probably stopped noticing years ago. The size of the roads, the size of the cars, the size of the supermarkets, the size of the food portions. Apparently, even gas stations are tourist attractions now. Honestly, if someone told me 10 years ago that international tourists would be making videos about convenience stores and gas station, I probably would not have believed them. But that is what travel does. Sometimes the things local ignores becomes the thing visitor love the most. The everyday thing become the memorable things. And maybe that is a good reminder for all of us to appreciate the things around us. little more, because sometimes it takes an outsider to remind you what makes your country unique. One thing I really agree with is the idea that travel destroys stereotypes. It is hard to hate people once you actually met them. It is hard to believe every negative thing you have heard once you have experienced something yourself. And maybe that is why events that bring people together are so important. When people travel, they stop seeing countries as headlines and start seeing them as communities. They start seeing the people instead of the politics. And honestly, that is probably healthier for everyone. Now, obviously, to Now, obviously, no country is perfect. America is not perfect. My country is not perfect. Your country is not perfect. If perfection was required to be proud of your country, nobody on earth would qualify. Every nation has problems, every nation has challenges, every nation has things it needs to improve, but acknowledging problems and appreciating positive can exist at the same time. Those two things are not enemies. You can criticize things that need fixing while also appreciating the good parts. I feel like social media sometimes forgets that everything becomes a competition between love and hate with no room for anything in the middle. But real life exists in the middle. Most countries are simply places filled with millions of ordinary people trying to build good lives for themselves and their families. And honestly, that is probably more true than any stereotype you will ever hear. Another thing I noticed from these reaction video is how many visitors mention optimism. That idea of ambition, that idea of possibility, the idea that if you want to start something, people will tell you to go for it, whether it is starting a business, creating content, opening restaurant, inventing something, or chasing a dream. People seem to notice that attitude, and that is interesting because culture is not always something you can touch or photograph. Sometimes culture is simply a mindset. Sometimes culture is the energy people bring to everyday life, and that is something visitors seems to be picking up on. At the same time, I think this whole conversation says just as much as about the rest of the world as it does about America. Because how many opinions do we all have about places we never visited? How many times have we assumed we know exactly what somewhere is like because of a few videos online? We have all done it. I have done it. You probably have done it. Most people have done it. But travel has funny way of humbling you. You arrive expecting one thing and leave thinking something completely different. And honestly, that is one of the best parts about seeing the world. Having your assumptions challenged, learning something new, realizing that reality is more complicated than stereotypes. I also think sports play a huge role in this. Sport has always had this strange ability to bring people together in ways that politics never can. So for a few weeks, people forget about borders, they forget about arguments online, they forget about everything else. They are just fans enjoying the moment together, eating together, exploring cities together, creating memories together. And maybe that's why international tournaments are so important because they create experiences people remember forever. You might forget the score of a match in 10 years, but you probably won't forget the people you met while you were there. And honestly, that is probably the most valuable thing of all human experiences, human connection, conversations with strangers. Those things matters more than people realize. I also think that there is something refreshing about seeing people change their minds publicly. The internet does not reward changing your opinion. Usually, people double down, they defend their original position forever. So, seeing people say, you know what, I was wrong about this place is actually pretty cool. There should probably be more of that online, more curiosity, more open mindedness, more willingness to admit that maybe we don't know everything. Because nobody wins when we spend our lives arguing with stereotypes that are not even true. At the end of the day, I think this in conversation comes down to one simple idea: experience things for yourself whenever you can. Visit places, talk to people, try different foods, learn about different cultures, form opinions based on your experiences instead of someone else's experience. Because second hand opinions can only take you so far. There is no substitute for seeing something with your own eyes, and honestly, that is probably the biggest reason these reactions are becoming so popular. People love seeing expectation collide with reality, people love seeing assumption challenge, people love seeing someone discover something they were not expecting, and judging by the reaction we are seeing, a lot of visitors are walking away with memories they probably didn't expect to make. Maybe some arrive expecting one version of America and left with a different one. And left with a different one. Maybe some stereotype disappeared, maybe some opinions changed, maybe some people are already planning to come back, who knows. But if there is one thing this whole situation proves, it is that the real world is usually far more interesting than the version we build inside our heads. And honestly, that is a lesson that applies to every country on earth. Travel more if you can, meet people if you can, keep an open mind if you can, because sometimes all it takes is one trip, one conversation, or one experience to completely change the way you see a place. And if that is what's happening right now for thousands of visitors, then honestly, that is pretty awesome to watch. But that is just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below. Have you ever tried visited a country that completely changed your expectation? Did reality match what you expected, or was it completely different? I would love to hear your stories. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe. If you are new here, I will see you guys in the next one. For now, I am sweating a lot, so I will probably go and change. See you in the next one.